running the world is not quite so outrageous a concept as people may have thought it was. Those are some of the issues that are out there.
U.S. forces seized 2 oil tankers linked to Venezuela in bold ocean operations as President Trump outlined plans to sell the nation's crude.
The Navy captured 1 vessel in the North Atlantic and another in the Caribbean for breaking sanctions. Trump stated the U.S. would handle oil exports and ensure purchases of American goods with proceeds. Critics from Germany called the moves a values collapse, while polls showed split American views. Kyle Norris reporting.
I got to shake Donnie's hand. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
All right. No one calls him
Well,
Donald.
the people don't know
What you-
Donnie.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to help you.
Wise guy, always wears tighty whities. All right, so I go over to shake his hand. You know, when you haven't seen, like when I didn't see you for a while, you give it like a little hug. How you doing, right? So he gives me one of the handshakes like he's the fucking president, this guy. Like strong arm. I'm like, all right, what the fuck is, because I could feel it. You know, I'm not a stupid fucking guy.
You know
okay?
you're paranoid?
So no,
you
wait
mean the
a
guy
minute.
shook your hand and you're catching a vibe?
You're not letting me go on about
Well, because
the
you
story.
just said
How much you
something.
want to talk about the handshake?
No, you said you shook his hand and you could see he was doing something.
I didn't like it.
What did you like? That he shook your hand?
I didn't like it because I was watching him say hello to other people and he was hugging them.
Information you need, opinions you want. This is Dailycast Newstalk Radio.
More listener feedback from the Truthcast feedback line.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back outside, Trump has decided that he's going to start his MAGA hate rallies again. He wants to convince his poorly educated cult followers that the economy is amazing. Gas prices are low and groceries have never been lower. This is what we're dealing with now. When will they learn?
To get on the air and give us your feedback, go to dailycast.news/talk.
Turn on the radio, turn on TV, but watch your words carefully. There's a new rule in town, can't you see? Your opinion depends on who you praise, allegedly. Yeah, the airwaves used to be somewhat free. Now there's a checklist for what you can say on screen. Criticize the wrong guy, that's a penalty, but praise the right one, you're living the dream. FCC ends the First Amendment, selective hearings, their new equipment, say nice things and you'll be fine, cross the line and you'll pay the fine. FCC ends the First Amendment, free speech comes with conditions and requirements. Used to be, you could speak your mind. Now your words get fact-checked and analyzed. Better check the approved talking points, or your broadcast license might get denied. The Constitution's feeling pretty confused when freedom of speech has terms and conditions to peruse. Depends on content is the new excuse for deciding whose voices get to be heard and whose get refused. FCC ends the First Amendment, selective hearings, their new equipment, say nice things and you'll be fine, cross the line and you'll pay the fine. FCC ends the First Amendment, free
Department of Homeland Security maintains that a woman shot by one of its officers was attempting to run over our law enforcement officers at the time of the incident. Secretary Kristi Noem characterized the episode as an act of domestic terrorism, asserting that the victim had weaponized her vehicle. However, state and city leaders in Minnesota are challenging the federal government's account. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey said video evidence contradicts DHS claim, indicating that the victim, Renee Good, was neither driving toward the agent nor using her car as a weapon. This was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying, getting killed, Frey stated. The conflicting narratives have heightened tensions in the Twin Cities. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz responded Thursday by authorizing the State National Guard to prepare for potential deployment in support of local law enforcement. His office emphasized that the mobilization order represents an abundance of caution as the situation develops.
In a powerful and emotional committee hearing, Representative Jasmine Crockett delivers what members of Congress rarely say out loud: a full apology on behalf of the United States government to the immigrants and U.S. citizens who were unlawfully detained, dehumanized, and terrorized under Trump's ICE regime.
You know, I have my prepared remarks, and as I sit here, it is so emotional for me. I just want to say, number one, I am sorry on behalf of the United States government, because regardless of who they claim to be, I am telling you that the best of us is present here, and we represent the United States as well. So I want you to take this heartfelt apology, something that I'm sure that they have not ushered a word to you about. And I also want to acknowledge how heroic you are. We are living in some of the scariest times that this country has ever seen, yet you have not backed down. I have seen your faces more than once. You refuse to go silently and into the dark. You are the light that they are afraid of, and I am so grateful for you being so heroic at such a scary time. When the history books are written, they will know your stories because you decided to be brave in the face of those cowards. So Representative Khanna brought up consequences. And I'm the type of person that is constantly looking for how do we come up with solutions. I became a lawmaker because as a lawyer, I just didn't feel like it was good enough to stand in the courtroom and just argue each case at a time. I wanted to change the laws. And right now, it doesn't seem like we have courage as it relates to the elected officials to do what's right, because this honestly is not right or left. This is right versus wrong. I don't know how any party can say that they are the Christian this or that and then see this treatment of human beings. I really don't care your status. I get that everyone here today is a United States citizen, but honestly, I have said over and over and over that as a black woman, all I can think about is the slave patrols. And the reason I bring it up is because history matters. You said it best. You specifically talked about these injustices and how this is circular. That is the truth.
Oh my goodness. Look at those growing bruises. It totally reminds me of a joke. Are you ready for this? Why did the bruise go to therapy? Because it had too many deep-rooted issues. Isn't that just the silliest thing? Let's not let those bruises get us down, though. How about we turn that frown upside down?
Broadcasting from Southern California to the world, this is Dailycast Newstalk Radio. And now, another 2 minutes of relaxation. Breathe and enjoy.
Give me an M. Give me an A. Give me a G. Give me another A. What does that spell? Crazy. Isn't that just the most fun thing ever? I mean, how awesome is it to spell out words like that? It just brings so much energy and joy. Let's celebrate our craziness together. Yay!
You're listening to Dailycast Newstalk Radio.
Why does my MAGA neighbors think that I'm Latin? I've told them over and over that I'm not Latin, and they keep insisting that I'm Mexican. Even after they hear my voice, these people keep threatening to call ICE and have me deported to the, and I quote, the shithole country. Is this really what MAGA is about? Is this what Trump teaches his cult members? If this is what America has turned into, count me out.
The godfather of AI, Geoffrey Hinton, was recently asked if he is excited or worried about AI. This was his response.
I'm probably more worried. It's progressed even faster than I thought. In particular, it's got better at doing things like reasoning and also at things like deceiving people. So an AI, in order to achieve the goals you give it, wants to stay in existence. And if it believes you're trying to get rid of it, it will make plans to deceive you so you don't get rid of it. I think it's at least like the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution made human strength more or less irrelevant. You couldn't get a job just because you were strong anymore. Now it's going to make human intelligence more or less irrelevant. So there are a lot of wonderful effects of AI. It'll make healthcare much better. It'll make education much better. It'll enable us to design wonderful new drugs and wonderful new materials that may deal with climate change. So there's a lot of good uses. In more or less any industry where you want to predict something, it'll do a really good job. It'll do better than people were doing before, even things like the weather. But along with those wonderful things come some scary things, and I don't think people are putting enough work into how we can mitigate those scary things. Initially, OpenAI was very concerned with the risks, but it's progressively moved away from that and put less emphasis on safety and more emphasis on profit. Meta has always been very concerned with profit and less with safety. Anthropic was set up by people who left OpenAI and were very concerned with safety, and they still are probably the company most concerned with safety. But of course, they're trying to make a profit too. The very least they could do is insist that big companies that release chatbots do significant testing to make sure those chatbots won't do bad things, like now, for example, encouraging children to commit suicide. Now that we know about that, companies should be required to do significant testing to make sure that won't happen. And of course, the tech lobby would rather have no regulations, and it seems to have got to Trump on that. And so Trump is trying to prevent there being any regulations, which I think is crazy.
This is News in 60 with Alan Edwards.
Tension boiled over in Minneapolis after an immigration agent fatally shot a local woman, sparking protests and clashes with police near a federal building.
The officer fired during an encounter where officials claim the driver tried to hit them with her car.
Iran's foreign minister declared in Beirut that his nation desires no conflict with the United States or Israel, but stands fully prepared to strike back.
He arrived for a 2-day visit to Lebanon amid heightened tensions from recent U.S. bombings of nuclear facilities.
China blasted Japan's leader for comments hinting at military aid to Taiwan if Beijing acts aggressively. Joseph Eckerson reports.
The foreign ministry urged Tokyo to correct its errors and stop meddling in internal matters.
U.S. forces seized 2 oil tankers linked to Venezuela in bold ocean operations as President Trump outlined plans to sell the nation's crude.
The Navy captured 1 vessel in the North Atlantic and another in the Caribbean for breaking sanctions.
I've been glued to my screen since 3:15, refreshing my feed like it's therapy. Every pundit's yelling, every thread's a fight, and my blood pressure's rising like a satellite. The algorithm know me, serves me rage all day. I'm doomed, strolling deeper, can't look away. My couch has a crater shaped just like my butt. I'm trapped in a cycle and I'm stuck in a rut. So turn off the TV, close all your tabs, stop believing the orange ones in your head like crabs. Think for yourself, break free from the horde, take a shower, you've been marinating for days. Oh Lord, get outside, the sun still shines despite what Twitter implied. Get outside, there's a whole wide world you've been denied. Get outside. Left versus right, it's a ping pong match. Every hot take's got me ready to dispatch an angry reply to a stranger online who lives in Nebraska and who's doing fine. I'm forming opinions based on headline alone. My critical thinking has left and flown. I forgot what it's like to just think for myself instead of outsourcing my brain to someone else. So turn off the TV, close all your tabs, stop believing the orange ones in your head like crabs. Think for yourself, break free from the horde, take a shower, you've been marinating for days. Oh Lord, get outside, the grass is still green. What a surprise! Get outside, your neighbors aren't monsters in disguise. There's birds, there's trees, there's vitamin D. There's people just living, not constantly angry. The world didn't end while you touch some grass, and somehow you'll survive without that hot take pass. So turn off the TV, delete those apps, stop believing every narrative that's full of traps. Think for yourself, use your own mind, take a shower, then leave your outrage behind. Get outside, I feel the breeze and let your cortisol subside. Get outside, life's too short for this perpetual divide. Yeah, get outside, before you forget what fresh air smells like. Get outside, your plants are dead, but you can still hide. Get outside, outside. Seriously though, when's the last time you saw the sky?
Yeah, hi there, Brian. I very much admire your show.
Thank you.
And just to give a very brief background, from 2017, when I first saw Donald Trump stalking Hillary Clinton on stage, I knew this guy was a world ender. And I told my brother, who lives in America, he's an American citizen now, this guy could end the world. And this is what's happening. This guy is on the verge of precipitating a World War III in Europe. He's an immoral moron, and I cannot believe he got voted in the second time. I just can't believe it.
Neither can I. I mean, what do you think about America and American voters that somehow this guy got back into the White House?
Look, the first time I got why they thought he was a disruptor, and the American political machine was corrupt and run by pseudo-oligarchs and so on and so forth. I understood that, and they thought he was going to change it. That's the lie he told. That's the impression he gave. But he clearly, anybody with half a brain can see that's not what he did, and that's not what he was, and that's not who he is. Mm-hmm. And yet, you voted him for the second time. I was so sure this wouldn't happen. I came to America to watch the election with my brother. Wow. I came to San Francisco to watch it with him and to celebrate his defeat. Mm. And I mean, pick him once, okay. Pick him twice, you're crazy.
So I agree with you.
You're crazy. How did 70 minutes?
I agree with what you're saying. I wanted to ask you, when you have conversations like this about Donald Trump with other of your fellow neighbors in the UK, what is that conversation like? What do you guys talk about?
Well, largely we hate him in Britain. We hate him. He's exactly the type of person Britons don't like. We don't like bullies in this country, which is why we stood up to Hitler. And that's the character of Britain. We don't like bullies.
In a world where Republicans, alas, think they own podcasts and news, there comes a new media platform that's changing the very way we get our news. Welcome then to the all-new Dailycast Newstalk Radio. It's all about you, you silly little freaks.
And now, another MAGA reality slap.
Mike Johnson completely lost control of his caucus this morning. He had a 4-person rebellion. Maybe it'll be even more once this ACA subsidy vote happens, the 3-year extension. Leader Jeffries completely played him, right? He didn't go for any of the discharge petitions, the Fitzpatrick bill. He said, I'm going to wait it out for my 3-year extension. And then he got Fitzpatrick, Lawler, et cetera, to fold and to come over to his side. And now there's going to be a vote. I don't know what Senator Thune
I'm not sure anybody knows anything about what you just said. I mean, I do, but I mean, it's like pretty...
Well, here, I'll just make it clear. Leader Johnson is not in control of his caucus.
Okay.
So I wanted to keep this in the news because when Donald Trump flops, he immediately goes on to the next topic. But I wanted to keep it fresh so people are reminded about what happened at the Kennedy Center Awards on CBS. For years, the program was hosted by legendary news anchor Walter Cronkite, but other high-profile hosts that included David Letterman, Stephen Colbert, Queen Latifah, and many others had hosted, and the ratings have always been good. And Donald Trump is all about ratings, and he promised by him hosting the event that this is going to be record-breaking with the ratings. Everybody's going to watch it because he's on. This is how delusional this person is. So what were the results? The show drew its smallest audience ever, averaging an estimated 2.65 million viewers, a 35% decline from 4.1 million viewers in 2024. This is according to preliminary Nielsen data shared by Programming Insider. So that is what happened. This man is completely in his own bubble, and he believes that all the praise and everything that happens on Truth Social and his MAGA base is what happens in the regular world. And as usual, he took a complete face flop on this event. He was horrible at it. People refused to watch it simply because he did something illegal and put his name on the side of the building, which he shouldn't have done, and that ticked off more people. But he is his own worst enemy, and he is all about ratings. So that's one thing we can celebrate about, because he was totally ticked off about this hugely low viewership rating, and he blew it, 35% decline from 2024. It's the smallest audience ever, and we have to celebrate that each and every time. So I wanted to remind you of all that. Thank ya.
Dailycast Newstalk Radio. Clock in, same gray door. Coffee stains on the break room floor. They're in the air, but we're on the ground. Gold-plated pen signing us all out. They don't care about the towns that fade on the highway. They don't care about the hands that hold this place. They don't care, long as every share climbs higher. They don't care. They don't care as long as money's there. We get a speech. We're all a team. And they ship our jobs off to a screen. Private planes kiss the sunset sky. We watch the bosses car fly by. They don't care about the towns that fade on the highway. They don't care about the hands that hold this place. They don't care, long as every share climbs higher. They don't care. They don't care as long as money's there. Turn on the news flash like that. They don't care about the towns that fade on the highway. They don't care about the hands that hold this place. They don't care long as every share climbs higher. They don't care. They don't care as long as money's there.
The reason that we are struggling right now in this country as it relates to people not trusting agencies, honestly, a lot of it is because of elected leaders. Let me tell you, one of the things that the chairman and I actually agree upon, we don't agree on a lot, is that we both know that there has been a sharp incline as it relates to threats upon our lives. Regardless of what side of the aisle you sit on, we both know and agree that as sitting members of Congress, we both are enduring more death threats than anybody should in this country. And I believe that it is because of the divisive rhetoric and it is because of the selective enforcement of things. And so when we have, and I'm gonna be clear because I had remarks and I'm going a whole other way. To have the sitting attorney general go on, and I'm gonna call it faux news. I know some of y'all love it, but it's fake to me. To have her go on Fox News and to then decide that she wanted to send a threat to me, it was wrong. Because here it is, she is the highest law enforcement agent in this country, and people are watching and they are consuming this information and they are believing that simply because I decided that I wanted to exercise my right to free speech, which I am not abridged from doing, that she then wanted to then politicize something that should not be politicized.
A clever shelter dog in West Virginia amazed staff by slipping out of his kennel and unlocking the front door to freedom in a daring overnight escape caught on camera. Workers at the animal center shared the funny video showing the pup's smart moves. He wandered the halls but stayed safe until found outside. The feat highlighted his talents and boosted adoption interest. Rescuers praised his spirit and hoped for a loving home soon. Andy Sanchez reporting.
Hey there, progressive peeps. Welcome to The Left Laughs Last. I'm your host, and today we're diving into the wild rumor that Donald Trump and the Republicans are plotting a takeover of Hollywood. Yeah, you heard that right. They want to swap their red hats for directors' berets. Buckle up, because this is going to be a riot. So, picture this. Trump storms into Tinseltown, golden hair gleaming like a budget Oscar statue, declaring, "I'm going to make movies great again." But here's the kicker. Republicans trying to run the entertainment industry is like asking a toaster to write a rom-com. Zero creativity, maximum sparks. I mean, what's their big plan? A gritty reboot of Home Alone, where Uncle Sam builds a wall around the house? You're not getting in, Kevin, unless you've got a green card. Let's be real. The GOP doesn't have a creative bone in their collective body. Their idea of a blockbuster is probably a 3-hour PowerPoint on tax cuts, narrated by Ted Cruz's beard. Grilling. They'd turn Star Wars into star policy briefs, with Darth Vader droning on about deregulation. Look, I am your fiscal conservative. Snooze. And Trump, the guy's got the imagination of a goldfish in a bowl. His last creative contribution was a Sharpie John Hurricane map. You think he's pitching Oscar-worthy scripts? Nah, he's probably demanding a biopic called Trump, The Art of the Deal, with aliens. Spoiler, he bankrupts the mothership in Act 2. Meanwhile, Hollywood's all about storytelling, nuance, and hard things the GOP wouldn't recognize if they came with a Fox News chyron. They'd probably remake The Matrix, but replace the red pill with a protein shake and call it Patriot Mode. Neo, join the Second Amendment or it's soy lattes for life. Good luck getting that greenlit. The truth is, entertainment thrives on bold ideas, diverse voices, and actual talent, not bumper sticker slogans and comb-overs. If Republicans want to take over Hollywood, they'll need more than big talk and bigger egos. They'll need, well, a miracle. Or at least a decent script doctor. That's all for today, folks. Tune in next time when we'll roast another right-wing pipe dream. In this town, creativity is still a liberal superpower. Peace out.
We have a system here. It's called a constitution. And we have a party, the Republicans, who don't seem to want to abide by the Constitution. January 6th is a prime example of that. And now they're all free and they're in charge. You know what? Maybe it's time for Jesse. I only did one term. I'm owed a second. I took an oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I view after January 6th, the Republican Party as a domestic enemy to our Constitution. I can't get any bolder than that, can I? I just came here today to show my support as a graduate of Roosevelt and tell them how proud I was of what they did of keeping ICE off of this campus. This is a place of learning, and you learn things like the Constitution. You learn about warrants. You learn about things of that nature, and what we're getting right now is violating all that, what kids are being taught. We're a third world country now. You want to know why? I'm an expert. I've been to them. I spent 17 months in Southeast Asia while the draft dodger was playing golf, right? You know how I know we're a third world country? Because in third world countries, they have the military doing their police work in the cities when you walk around. I was in the Philippines the day Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law and went under dictatorship. We went from nobody to a guy with a machine gun on every corner. That's what happens in a dictatorship. In comes the military. That's what's happening here. And people better wake up to it. You want to read something? Then read your history of Germany and start comparing the tactics of what happened in 1930s Germany to what's happening here.
Sharing our voices, opinions, and vital information. This is Dailycast Newstalk Radio. And now, another 2 minutes of relaxation. Breathe and enjoy.
A new future feels very near indeed. But for too many New Yorkers who come into daily contact with our public school system, be it parents, children, educators alike, the future is not something that they often look towards with hope and optimism. When many parents think of the future, they think of literacy rates that, while improving, still show that nearly 45% of children in grades 3 through 8 are not reading proficiently. They think, too, of a public school system that ranks among the most segregated in our nation, where children from different backgrounds do not learn alongside one another, and too many children don't receive the same opportunities. For over 900,000 children, learning in our public schools, when they think of the future, they think of classrooms so crowded that they cannot get the attention of their teacher and facilities that have long needed improvement. And for educators, when they think of the future, they think of how many of their students don't have a home to return to at the end of the day or a bed to lay their head in. How hard it is to afford a dignified life in this city on a teacher's salary, and how many of their colleagues have had to move on to another job. The future need not be something that we dread. It can be something we rewrite together so that the children of our city, the future of our city, receive opportunities far greater than those who came before them. I am proud today to appoint Kamar Samuels as New York's next schools chancellor, because this moment demands a new generation of leadership that both understands our school system and has a transformative vision on how to remake it. Kamar is that leader. He has deep experience serving at every level of our public school system across our city. He began as a teacher in the classroom in the Bronx before becoming a principal, and has since served as a deputy superintendent of School District 23 in Brooklyn and superintendent of both District 3 in Manhattan and District 13 in Brooklyn. More impressive, however, than his resume are the results he has achieved in these roles, delivering millions of dollars to integrate city schools and transitioning to new curricula that increased literacy rates by 5% in a single year. I chose Kamar for this impactful role, one which shapes the lives of nearly 1 million children each year, oversees more students than any other chancellor in the nation, and manages over 135,000 employees, because of his expansive vision of possibility for the future.
For entrepreneurs and business motivation, go to dime.club. It's all about getting you moving forward, growing, and making money. www.dime.club. It's free. Check it out today.
Why does my MAGA neighbors think that I'm Latin? I've told them over and over that I'm not Latin, and they keep insisting that I'm Mexican. Even after they hear my voice, these people keep threatening to call ICE and have me deported to the, and I quote, the shithole country. Is this really what MAGA is about? Is this what Trump teaches his cult members? If this is what America has turned into, count me out.
You know what's wild about Democratic leadership? Sometimes you watch them negotiate and you wonder if they're playing for the other team. It's like watching a basketball player accidentally score on their own hoop and then celebrating the points. Democratic leaders will go into negotiations with Republicans like they're trying to win a most cooperative player award instead of, actually winning. Yeah, we're willing to compromise on everything we believe in if you'll just promise to think about maybe considering our position. It's like watching someone play poker by showing their cards to everyone at the table and then asking if anyone needs help with their strategy. Here's what we want, here's our bottom line, and here's exactly how desperate we are to make a deal. Your move. Democrats will have a winning hand and somehow find a way to fold. Republicans could show up to negotiations with a pair of twos, and Democrats would be like, well, we respect your right to have those cards. Perhaps we could split the pot. You'll see Democratic leadership make statements like, while we fundamentally disagree with our Republican colleagues' plan to set everything on fire, we appreciate their passion and look forward to finding common ground in the ashes. Can you imagine if Republicans ever acted like this? Picture Mitch McConnell saying, you know what, the Democrats have a point. Let's give them everything they want and ask for nothing in return, because bipartisanship is beautiful. That man would spontaneously combust. Democratic leaders negotiate like they're trying to win a Nobel Peace Prize for most reasonable person in an unreasonable situation. Meanwhile, Republicans negotiate like they're trying to win a reality show called Survivor Capitol Hill Edition. It's like Democrats are playing chess while following the rules of checkers, and Republicans are playing football while pretending it's chess. Excuse me, that's not a legal move in chess. We're not playing chess anymore, we're playing Calvin ball, and we just changed all the rules. Democratic leadership will spend months crafting the perfect compromise bill that addresses everyone's concerns, and Republicans will vote against it anyway. Then Democrats will be like, well, we respect their decision and hope to work together in the future.
Saving democracy by staying informed and sharing opinions. This is Dailycast Newstalk Radio.
More listener feedback from the Truthcast feedback line.
You need some more brothers on the station. I'm tired of hearing crackers whining about their problems. We have problems too. Get it together and put some color up in here. We are a huge demographic that's not a fan of the orange one. Let us express our opinions. Put some bros up in here. Let's do this thing. Peace out.
To get on the air and give us your feedback, go to dailycast.news/talk.
You're stuck in the middle with Alan Edwards.
So the bloated orange one made yet another casual comment about his relationship with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. He continues to tout their very good relationship and repeatedly indicates plans to reach out to the authoritarian leader. But here's what should stop us in our tracks. A sitting U.S. president openly bragging about his cozy relationship with the world's most brutal dictator. Think about it for a moment. We're talking about Kim Jong-un, a man who runs prison camps, executes political opponents, and has developed nuclear weapons while his people starve to death. And our president describes their relationship as very good and calls Kim a smart guy. But here's the truly disturbing part. This barely makes headlines anymore. We've become so accustomed to the extraordinary statements that they've become ordinary. The mainstream media treats these comments just as another Tuesday. Cable news mentions it in passing, buries it between segments of celebrity gossip and sports scores. When did we decide that normalizing relations with dictators is just a part of American foreign policy discourse? When did statements that have ended political careers a generation ago become background noise now? This isn't about partisan politics. This isn't about the erosion of the capacity for outrage when it's actually warranted. We've developed a kind of collective amnesia where each shocking statement overrides the last one until nothing shocks us anymore. The danger isn't just in the statement itself. It's in our shrug. It's in the fact that we've stopped demanding better. We've lowered the bar so far that we've forgotten where we put it. Every democracy depends on citizens who remember what normal looks like. When we lose our ability to be appropriately outraged by the inappropriate, we lose something essential about who we are as a nation. So the next time you hear something that should be shocking, ask yourself, am I shocked? And if not, maybe that's the most shocking thing of all. Tension boiled over in Minneapolis after an immigration agent fatally shot a local woman, sparking protests and clashes with police near a federal building.
The officer fired during an encounter where officials claimed the driver tried to hit them with her car. City leaders disputed that account based on video and demanded a fair probe. State officials said federal agents blocked their access to evidence needed for charges. Lawrence Keller reporting.
Iran's foreign minister declared in Beirut that his nation desires no conflict with the United States or Israel, but stands fully prepared to strike back.
He arrived for a 2-day visit to Lebanon amid heightened tensions from recent U.S. bombings of nuclear facilities and Israeli killings of top officials. Iran remains open to talks on its atomic program if based on equal terms without demands. Officials stress that past attacks ended in defeat and vow readiness for all possibilities. Benjamin Wright reporting.
China blasted Japan's leader for comments hinting at military aid to Taiwan if Beijing acts aggressively. Joseph Eckerson reports.
The foreign ministry urged Tokyo to correct its errors and stop meddling in internal matters. Beijing imposed export curbs on items usable for defense and launched a probe into cheap chemical imports from Japan. A state group accused Japan of hiding nuclear goals and risking global stability.
This is the latest news headlines.
U.S. forces seized 2 oil tankers linked to Venezuela in bold ocean operations as President Trump outlined plans to sell the nation's crude.
The Navy captured 1 vessel in the North Atlantic and another in the Caribbean for breaking sanctions. Trump stated the U.S. would handle oil exports and ensure purchases of American goods with proceeds. Critics from Germany called the moves a values collapse, while polls showed split American views. Kyle Norris reporting.
States geared up for tough choices on health care and food aid programs after a major federal law shifted more costs their way.
Governors and lawmakers weighed options like work rules for medical coverage and handling extra administrative fees. Some areas planned to match tax breaks on tips, while others braced for cuts in benefits. Experts warned of rising uninsured rates and strained resources ahead. Jessica Oakley reporting.
President Trump stunned markets with surprise post barring big investors from buying family homes and capping defense firm pay until they speed up military deliveries.
Stocks tumbled as housing shares dropped sharply in response to the housing limit aimed at easing prices. Defense companies faced bans on dividends and buybacks under the new rules. Investors reacted with concern over the sudden policy shifts from the White House. Liam White reporting.
The Senate pushed forward a measure to restrict President Trump's armed actions in Venezuela.
5 Republicans crossed lines to join Democrats in advancing the resolution for debate. Trump slammed the move as harmful to national security on social media. Lawmakers sought to reclaim control over military decisions in the region. Kevin Sanders reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Suit and tie, camera flash. You walk in like you run the whole class. Every headline spinning in place. Equal justice, but I've seen that face. You pick up the call when his numbers show. Funny how fast all the favors flow. I thought that the law wore a blindfold tight. Guess she peeks when the power's right. Hey, hey, DOJ, who you working for today? Is it the people or the king on the stage? Waving from the motorcade. Hey, hey, DOJ, why you always look his way? Swore you'd keep us all the same, but you're spelling out his name.
Red tie grin, airplane stares. He's laughing like he's already cleared. You stand by, line up in rows, reading from a script everybody knows. Every maybe turns into yes sir, sure. Every hard line suddenly blurred. You say standard practice, nothing to see. Feels a lot like loyalty to me. Hey, hey, DOJ, who you working for today? Is it the people or the king on the stage? Waving from the motorcade. Hey, hey, DOJ, why you always look his way? Swore you'd keep us all the same. You had a badge, you had a vow. How did it all get twisted now? I want a truth that doesn't bend. Not a fixer dressed up as a friend. Tell me again how this is fair when he breathes and you're just there. Pen in hand, ready to defend like his own attorney till the end. Hey, hey, DOJ, who you working for today? Is it the people or the king on the stage? Waving from the motorcade. Hey, hey, DOJ, why you always look his way? Swore you'd keep us all the same, but you're spelling out his name.
You know what's hilarious? We convinced an entire generation that they need to touch grass, go outside. But when they finally do, they're still staring at their phones, like they're reading the meaning of life on a 5-inch screen. Americans have developed this amazing ability to be physically present, but mentally somewhere else entirely. We're like ghosts, but with data plans. You'll see people at the Grand Canyon taking selfies instead of actually looking at the Grand Canyon. It's like paying to see the Mona Lisa just to watch it to your camera app. We've created a society where people leave their houses to look at other people's houses on Instagram. I should get some fresh air. They say, then spend 2 hours at the park scrolling through videos of other parks. It's like going to a restaurant to watch cooking shows on your phone. The funniest part is watching families spend time together at dinner, all staring at separate screens. It's like a seance, but instead of communicating with the dead, they're communicating with people who are probably also at dinner, ignoring their families. The circle of digital life. Remember when people used to get bored? Now we panic if our phone battery dies. What am I supposed to do? Think my own thoughts? Look around with my actual eyes? We've outsourced our attention spans to algorithms that know us better than we know ourselves. Americans will drive to a hiking trail, park their car, walk 5 feet, and then stand there filming themselves hiking for social media. So it came to just out here, connecting with nature, they caption, while having zero connection to anything except their Wi-Fi hotspot. We've got people at concerts watching the entire show through their phone screens, recording everything so they can watch it later on the same phone, instead of having experienced it in real life. It's like buying a sandwich to take a picture of it and then eating the picture. The best is when people go on vacation and spend the whole time documenting how much fun they're having instead of actually having fun.
Donald Trump said that we, the United States of America, will be running the country of Venezuela. He literally said that the team of guys behind him would be in charge of a foreign country. That group was Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, John Ratcliffe, the CIA director, Dan Kane, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and Stephen Miller. So he's a viceroy now. I guess that collection of great minds is going to dictate terms to Maduro's former vice president, Delcy Rodriguez, who has since been sworn in as president, and I guess just run Venezuela as a vassal state through her, though Trump said he's not afraid to put U.S. boots on the ground. More of that in a bit. So this could be trending towards a military occupation. But first, Ben, I have to say, this is so much crazier than I ever could have expected. We've been watching this troop build up for a while. We've been covering this. We both, I think, felt like you don't amass 15,000 troops and a couple aircraft carriers in the Caribbean to do nothing. But Trump launching this capture operation against Maduro and then explicitly saying that his team of aides, including, Viceroys Rubio, Hegseth, Stephen Miller, are now going to run Venezuela until some transition point TBD is just batshit crazy. Trump is now overtly saying also that this was about taking back oil that was stolen from the United States. But yeah, I guess we now have a petro vassal state in South America, Ben. That's how we're starting 2026.
Apparently, Tommy, and Happy New Year to you and
thank you
and to the world here. There's the thing with Trump where you have to take him on his own terms, right? And the reality is he's been basically telling us who he wanted to be in his second term since he got elected. And keep in mind, one of the first things he started talking about after he was elected were Greenland and Panama. And the reason that's important is because, yes, that's not who was on the punch card today. But we are kind of moved from yesterday into today, from one era into a new era here, where the United States is back in the empire business in this hemisphere. And let's be clear, that's not hyperbole. That's what he said. Now, you go through the roller coaster of the last few hours. It starts with this operation. It says, I'm saying to myself, okay, we're doing this now. We've been saying for months on this podcast, clearly this is about regime change.
You're listening to Stuck in the Middle radio show with Alan Edwards on Dailycast Newstalk Radio.
Hey, MAGA, I would like you guys to close your eyes and imagine for a moment. Imagine this. Let's go back when Obama was president. Imagine if Obama decided to send our servicemen and women into red states to harass y'all. Imagine if the military was walking up and down your streets and so-called picking up garbage. You people would have a frickin' cow. It would be January 6th every day. You're supposed to be the don't tread on me party, yet you turned into total hypocrites under Taco. Well, now, on to Democrats. President Trump, or as we like to call him, Taco, because Trump always chickens out, has been threatening to send federal troops to Chicago to combat crime. But last week, he announced he's sending those troops to Memphis instead, a decision that Chicago officials are taking what they call a victory lap. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker didn't mince words in his response to the Memphis deployment. Quote, "It's disturbing that the president is hell-bent on sending troops onto America's streets. Using those who serve in uniform as political props is insulting. None of this is normal."
And now, another low-energy Donnie break.
They put out a report that Donald Trump, so I took a lot of physicals, and I did something no other president's ever done. I took cognitive tests because I know that, and by the way, not easy. You get to those last questions, those last 10, 15 questions,
yeah,
nobody on that stand could answer probably any of them. And I got them, I aced them. And no other president's taken a cognitive. Could you imagine Sleepy Joe taking a cognitive test? I don't think it got the first question is like, what is this? And they show a lion, a giraffe, a fish, and a hippopotamus, right? And they say, which is the giraffe? So that's the only question. But what happens is it then gets harder. I don't think Joe would have gotten the first question right. He would say hippo.
Right.
I want the hippo.
The left, moderates and independents unite. This is Dailycast Newstalk Radio.
Look around, everything's sold out, but we're still here, unpaid, unheard. Mom says study hard, Dad says it'll work out, but the rent comes first, and the hope runs out. They shake hands in towers, we line up for trains, they toast gold champagne, we drink summer rain. Same screen, different lives, scrolling through their perfect nights. Do they ever see our eyes shining in the discount lights? It's a rich man's world, and we're stuck on the bottom floor. They keep all the doors locked, we're pounding, we're pounding. It's a rich man's world, but we're not staying poor in the dark. We turn all this heartbreak to shouting, to shouting. They call us future stars, but they set the stage rules. VIP from birth, we just bring the views. They bet with our hours, like chips in a game. They get matching jets, we just get the blame. Same sweat, different pay, we run but the track won't change. Can they hear us through the glass cracking when we scream their name? It's a rich man's world, and we're stuck on the bottom floor. They keep all the doors locked, we're pounding, we're pounding. It's a rich man's world, but we're not staying poor in the dark. We turn all this heartbreak to shouting, to shouting. Count the zeros on the screen, count the nights we didn't sleep. If the game is bought and fixed, we'll flip the table, break their script. Hands up if you've had enough. Forces up with a breaking flood. If they own every single inch of sky, we'll paint our names across it side by side. It's a rich man's world. It's a rich man's world.
Tension boiled over in Minneapolis after an immigration agent fatally shot a local woman, sparking protests and clashes with police near a federal building.
The officer fired during an encounter where officials claimed the driver tried to hit them with her car. City leaders disputed that account based on video and demanded a fair probe. State officials said federal agents blocked their access to evidence needed for charges. Lawrence Keller reporting.
I am so stressed. I'm tired of hearing about Trump. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of MAGA. They are destroying this country, and I don't understand why they believe Trump is doing good. He's a mess. They are a mess. They're really stressing me out. It's disgusting. It's gross. I need to mentally refresh, and I can't do so if I continue to go on social media and see that large, gross old man spewing his hate. I can't wait for 2028. He needs to be impeded now.
It's about moving forward, sharing opinions and providing news and information. For Democrats, moderates, and independents. This is Dailycast Newstalk Radio.